Rowing, the ultimate team sport, beginning in the U.S. as early as 1851 when the crews of Yale and Harvard had their first regatta. The first and most important part of any crew team is the coach.
I've been coaching for 8 years. I've been with Forest Park Crew. This is my 7th season. What I like to do when I'm not coaching, well, first off, I'm a mom of 3, and so I like to spend some time with the family. My oldest daughter, who rows, she and I both like to row, and that's something I like to do. And I'm a competitive rower as an adult, so I spend a lot of time on my off time from coaching, rowing as well.
High school and college crews alike operate out of a boathouse. For the high schools of Prince William County's crew teams, their boats and equipment call Oxford Boathouse in Lake Ridge, Virginia home. It is here that Hilton, Woodbridge, Potomac, Garfield, and Forest Park's crew teams train.
All the schools generally get along well with each other. In the boathouse there are millions of dollars of equipment, and a new 8 shell costs as much, if not more, than a car.
Each team is responsible for cleaning up their own locker room, and once a week each team is assigned a day in which they have to clean up the entire boathouse and be the last to leave and lock up.
Practice for all schools generally takes place during winter and spring. The training schedule for a crew is typically from 3 to 6 p.m. Practice usually begins with a warm-up run from anywhere from a mile to 3 miles. This is followed by calisthenics and occasional weight training. But before they hit the water, they must face
the erg.
The erg.
Erging is really painful.
I hate the erg.
But what I have found as we have been erging throughout the years is that the more they fixate on a number, and they know that's kind of like setting a goal setting, that they know that as they erg they can always lower that number, and lowering that number then becomes making them a lot stronger, and making them stronger then will help them in the boat, making the boat faster.
Because a race is 1,500 meters in high schools, coaches usually overtrain their athletes with a 2,000 meter piece on the erg, better known as the 2K. Or the 2 kilometer. The 2K tells the coaches 2 scores. One is watts and then the other is time. The erg tells the rower how many watts of energy it produces. The score divided by the rower's weight indicates how many pounds they are pulling above their own weight. This is important because in a boat, not only do rowers need to pull themselves, but a coxswain.
I basically run things around here when the coach isn't around. My rowers come to me with a problem and I yell at them to fix it. I think people who've never been a coxswain don't realize it's not all that easy. I don't just sit there and steer a boat. I control a $28,000 piece of equipment along with the lives of 4 to 8 rowers. It's a big responsibility.
Here's what crew really comes down to: pulling a racing shell across the finish line before the boat next to you. Whether it be an 8, a 4, or a double. Rowers of the command of the coxswain work together to safely maneuver the shell from the rack back to the water. Once in the water, the cox will steer the boat and yell commands. The coach will follow closely on a launch and dictate the workout for the day. On race day, why would anyone want to wake up at 4 a.m., drive to the boathouse, and start moving heavy equipment, just to spend the next 12 hours being told by the coach what to do?
You really have to love the sport to keep doing it. Fortunately, it grows on you.
Okay, in all my years of rowing, what I have found with the rowing family is that I've never met so many amazing people and have had so many wonderful and amazing friends in the crew. And another real exciting thing about rowing is that it keeps you incredibly fit, and keeping fit makes you have a better outlook in life. It's just a wonderful thing. It's great.